Yo. Welcome everyone to the Swoosh Hoops podcast, episode 4, 5? Episode 5. Really, exciting thing we got going here, going strong. But as you know, today is the big opening of NBA week, right? The NBA season is here, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We've been waiting for this moment. It's been a phenomenal, anxious offseason, to say the least, with all the things happening in the news. Lakers trading for Russell Westbrook, the Kyrie Irving fiasco, and the Ben Simmons psych ward that's going on in Philadelphia right now. So
this morning,
right? We have it's crazy stuff, right? But today we want to sit and focus on what's coming up for the NBA season. What are our predictions? We'll get into that. We'll also get into WNBA. What a great story in a great series that we witnessed between the Chicago Sky and the Phoenix Mercury. Shout out to those women, man. They really put on for their cities and put on for the game of basketball for sure. Definitely for sure. And then we'll talk about we'll give our playoff prediction seedings and give our finals predictions and who's going to win, and then ultimately we'll also do our player awards. MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. We'll give that prediction, and then we'll get it started and let's enjoy the NBA season as we enter the 75th anniversary. So if you didn't tune in last week was our last episode rather. We went through our top 75. Had a lot of I wouldn't say feedback. A lot of feedback. About who shouldn't be who should be on the list. So that was great. Again, guys, keep the interaction going. We love it. Whether it's good or bad, we're all here for a conversation. So
exactly.
Let's kick it off to start. It's only right that we start the segment off with the WNBA. Shout out to Candace Parker. Shout out to the Chicago Sky for capturing their first WNBA championship. Eric, Armani, give me your guys' reactions on what you saw and what you felt about it, and
So far as game one, I didn't watch game one. Unfortunately, I was busy at the time of game one, but game two came on, and and I was just like, I have nothing to do. I don't want to say it like that, but let me just tune into the game, because I knew he was going to reveal about it on the next show. So I got my headphones on, listen to the music, and while I watched the game, and you could clearly see that the Chicago Sky had wanted it more. And one thing that actually surprised me was that these two teams was like the 5th versus the 6th seed, So just as good as these teams are, like I remember there was a time when the Phoenix Mercury was running the WNBA. Brittany Griner was killing, Diana Taurasi was killing, and then now you add Skylar Diggins into the team. So now they have their own big three, you know? And then also on the Sky side, you have Candace Parker, who's one of the best women basketball players. Oh yeah.
She is goated.
And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna speak about that in a little bit as well too. But it's just crazy that both of these teams ended up in their position as far as seeding goes. But while I was watching game two, I was just like, man, because after seeing that the Chicago Sky had pummeled the Mercury by 22 points game one, and game two
91-77,
77, something like that.
Yeah,
crazy. The score was crazy lopsided, and just to see that the Chicago Sky wanted it more. Especially that game two. And I was thinking to myself that if Diana Taurasi did pull a late game comeback, to send the game into overtime in that game two, we'd possibly looking at a sweep.
Yep.
The Chicago Sky clearly wanted it more, but just that game four was epic, man. I was having brunch with my girl, and as I'm sitting there, I'm watching the game on my phone as well too, and I'm just like, you know what? This looks like it's about to be a tied series. It's going to go down to the game 5, but I think on my phone it had lag for a little bit. So when I was watching the game on Hulu, I clicked live and I was surprised that the game was tied because it looked like, once it comes down to the final moments, you start everything starts going the team way that's up. you know. So it was coming down to that, and I was just like, wow, like they really tied the game. And then I think they had made like a floater and put them up 2. Next, you know, 2 became the 4. And I'm just like, wow, they're really about to run away with this.
Yeah,
but
Vandersloot's clutch layup I was like, whoa.
And then on top of that, like Diana Taurasi couldn't make a layup at the end of game 4 3 times in a row.
3.
And then she got fouled on the 3 and then missed one of the threes. I mean,
one of the free throws. Yep.
And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, you know, what a coincidence that right before the series start, they award Diana Taurasi the GOAT. Like, you know.
And the crazy things about that, right? Literally in game 5, right? Game 4. Sorry,
Game 4.
In game 4, the Sky was down the whole game. They were down. They were down 11 in the fourth quarter. You
exactly.
get what I'm saying? Like that's never been to me. I don't think that's never been done before. Like the Sky was down the whole game by double digits in the fourth quarter, where the Mercury could have just put a cap on that series, and the Sky just wouldn't quit. Like you could just tell
they wanted it more.
They wanted it more. They were more aggressive on the glass. They were more aggressive on deep. Yeah, the hustle.
Shout out to Kalia Cooper, yo.
Oh,
shout out to her, yo. Shout out to her. Shout out to her, man. She was down there rebounding with Brittany Griner throwing. I'm like,
yeah, man.
Okay.
Like, those women wanted it more for sure, and they just showed grit. Grit and grind. They showed, dedication. They showed effort. It was just like a sight. And honestly, it was emotional too. Like,
facts. It was.
And I usually get emotional over Laker games, over regular season Laker games. I get emotional, but like to see that commence, I was
tearing up a little bit.
Seriously, I was like, yo, she's really about to do this, yo. Like, she put up 16 points. So, Candace Parker, and that 3 she hit was right there when she hit the 3. I was like, yeah, they got this. They got it. They got it.
The whole momentum of the game just shifted, man. You know, because everything was going Mercury's way until I hit like live on Hulu, like the Catch Me Up. I was like, they tied the game. Like as I walk in the street, I was just like, what the hell?
I got home and on my phone, I'm like watching, like just keeping up with the score, and I'm just like, damn, I'm like, this is how the Sky gonna go out. Like this is you know what I mean? And I just kept checking. I get home and one of my boys is like, yo, like watch the game. It's super. I'm like, they were just down by double digits. He's like, nah, they just tied the game. I was like, no.
Let me just say something real quick. Phoenix basketball can't do nothing right.
Nothing, Phoenix. It is over for you, Phoenix.
They can't do nothing right.
That's what y'all get. 7-4.
It was looking like Sky and 4. And Bucks and 6.
For real, man. Definitely heartbreaking for Phoenix. I mean, to lose in the finals.
I heard they Diana Taurasi broke the door or something like that. I'm not sure if you guys heard that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So a report came out today, or Bleach Report, saying that because I believe the Sky had their parade today, and it was reported that Diana Taurasi actually broke one of the locker room doors, and the Sky brought it to the parade with them.
That is fire.
Wow.
That is fire.
Yeah, man. Jeez. So but also, I feel like as a GOAT, as the greatest player of all time, right? Like there's no excuses. Diana Taurasi I was in my head, I think it was game 2. I was just like, why is she not being aggressive? Like even though they're feeding the ball to Brittany Griner, she's a monster on the block, can't guard her. But why isn't Diana Taurasi demanding the ball? But then it was later revealed that she was actually injured.
She was playing with an injury,
Right, which is unfortunate, but
I felt like, maybe that listen, I get Diana was trying to she was trying to do what
she had
what she killed. Right. You know what I mean? But I felt like the advantage they had all series long was I think they should have ran more PNR between Brittany and Skylar, because Skylar was able to get to the cup at will. Whenever she won. Remember, in the overtime, she hit the layup. Like, I think it was game 2? I believe it was game 2.
Yeah,
game 2, yeah.
And she took over the game. I just think like they should have ran more two women action between Brittany Griner and Skylar Diggins. I think they would have got more opportunities offensively. And I don't know. It just didn't happen that way, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So my thought on this series, I thought that the Chicago Sky dominated the series. If you really look close to it, I think the style of pace, the way they like to run and gun up and down, it really caught the Phoenix Mercury off guard.
I think the Mercury kind of thought, in a sense, the Sky would have been intimidated just a little bit. Not saying, you know what I mean, but like, you know, with the star power on that team, I mean, you know,
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've been running the league for like the past because I remember, you know,
remember
like,
it was the Comets who ran
it was the Comet. Then was it the Shock, the Detroit Shock? They was running it.
With Dawn Staley,
I believe so. Yeah.
For like maybe like a couple years, and then remember the Liberty had it for a little bit. You know, with Rebecca Lobo and all of them.
Then
the Sparks took off.
Yeah.
Then the Spark, and then it was between like the Mercury and the Lynx, Minnesota Lynx.
Yeah, Minnesota Lynx.
Yeah, Minnesota Lynx, right? And then remember, you also had oh my God, the Seattle
Storm.
The Seattle Storm.
They won last year. They won last year.
That's what I'm saying. With Sue Bird and all them. So like, but in the constant of that, the only consistent team that's been like in the conversation with the Mercury every single year.
Every year.
You know? So this was to your point, Eric, like it was surprising to see the Sky dominate the series the way they did.
Yeah, because you think about the style of play, it was more of Chicago Sky was more of a open court, space it out, shoot it, running gun. With the Phoenix Mercury with Green and Griner, you got the dominating in the low post, Diana Taurasi and Skylar Diggins. You figure, okay, their size and their experience will with Diana Taurasi will at least get them at least further in the finals.
Right.
Candace Parker, Vandersloot, and Ali Quigley dominated the series.
Yeah, Ali Quigley was a sleeper the whole time, I think, in my opinion.
I thought those two were the catalyst on the reason why the reason why the Sky won the series so easy. Because if you really think about it, if it wasn't for those late baskets in Game 2 and overtime, this is a total sweep.
It's a total sweep. It's a total sweep.
And think about the fourth quarter. The Sky was down as much as 11. They outscored them by 15, 26-11.
Crazy.
Yep.
So
insane, man.
Yeah. So Candace Parker, she's the GOAT. I know Diana Taurasi is the GOAT, but come on, if you play, this is your 13th season in the WNBA. You spend most of your career in LA.
And a lot of people rip her off, man. Like people thought she was done,
overrated.
Done, overrated.
She was rated one of the most overrated players in the WNBA.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, right? Yeah. Exactly. So you know,
but for her to come back to Chicago, her hometown, and like really,
and that was the emotional part about it.
To galvanize that franchise to the team's first title. I know it took a lot out of her, but hey, she got it done.
Hey,
she got it done.
You know, shout out to the Chicago Sky.
And she's gonna be on TNT this season. So yeah.
Word.
She's gonna be flashing the jewelry.
Yeah. Talking about what's up, Chuck.
Google me, Chuck.
But
Chuck can't get a break, man.
No, he can't get a break.
So Shaq and Kenny and Candace flashing it, and Dame D-Wade flashing their rings.
I'm just glad that basketball is back, man. It was a long off season. I'm just thankful, man.
And you know, honestly,
it was short, but it was long though because the season ended in July. But
it was long because, like you couple that with society and like everything happening in the world, and then like every day there was like something for the NBA. It was the news, it was trades, it was this, it was that. So it was a great way, honestly, for the WNBA to end on that high note the way it did, because the WNBA set up the excitement for basketball this coming season, right? Like I think we owe a lot of props to how the WNBA carried the momentum throughout the summer, now into the fall. Going into the NBA season,
and also I read on the Athletic on the a tweet from Athletic that viewership was raised 23% during the WNBA Finals.
Like
the momentum.
The stigma of that, how the WNBA is a boring product to watch. To me, if you don't understand the game of basketball, and if you don't appreciate just the art in the game of basketball, then you shouldn't be watching basketball as a whole. Because at the end of the day, whether it's men or women or even kids playing the game, there's always something exciting to watch and to unpack, right? Like if you're really paying attention to the game. So, again, really shout out to the women of WNBA. Shout out to the Chicago Sky for winning the championship. And we look forward to a great next season coming up. Because it's gonna be. I hope my Sparks could take the glory back.
Oh, by the way, think about the Phoenix Mercury. They almost got knocked out by New York Liberty in that first round series.
They did.
So you gotta watch out for them too.
Yeah, we gotta watch out for the Liberty too. Yeah, Liberty. Yeah, and Nesco is coming for sure. But yeah. So we segue right into that excitement into the NBA season. And we're gonna kick off really quick. We're gonna go through our predictions, and I'll start off and give you my seedings first, or Eric, if you want to start, or money, doesn't matter. Give your seedings. Then let us know who's in your championship game and who wins the chip and why. So, when you guys can take.
I'll start it off first. Okay. Little quick update. Dodgers just took a 2-0 lead, second inning. All right. So my NBA playoff seedings in the East. I got 1 seed. I got the Milwaukee Bucks. They're coming back. Same team. I know no PJ Tucker for the Miami Heat, but I just think that they're coming back. They're ready to go. Giannis, he's going to be on another mission to repeat. And also wants to get a Finals MVP and regular season MVP. And what I saw during the preseason, if he keeps this up with the shooting, the league's in trouble the next 7 years. So I got the Bucks as in the 1 seed, 2 seed. Even though the whole circus and chaos around Kyrie Irving, doesn't make sense. You still got James Harden and Kevin Durant, and they still got a really decent bench. You can't write them off.
You can't write them off. No.
I mean, I got the Nets as a 2 seed. The 3, okay, so 3 through 6, it's a crapshoot for me.
Here we go.
So the 3 seed, I got the Miami Heat. I got the 3 seed. I got the Miami Heat. The 4 seed, I didn't want to put them up there, but it's the Knicks. 5, the Sixers, because the whole Ben Simmons fiasco is gonna. We'll talk about that in another episode. And also, we're gonna talk about the episode of how Kyrie, the James Harden saga, and the Ben Simmons saga is going to relate to what's going to happen with this collective bargaining agreement that has an opt-out clause in 2020 and 2022. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, a lot of things are going to change.
A lot of things are going to change. The owners are fed up with the behaviors going on with these big players.
Because in Adam Silver's league, the players he's pro player. So the players kind of run the league in a sense, right? Where the late great David Stern, may God rest his soul, David Stern was more stern, pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Trust me, I know.
He was very strict. So, but yeah, continue.
All right, so I had the 76ers at 5, the Hawks at 6. Now, the playing teams: 7 Celtics, 8 Pacers, 9 Bulls, 10 Hornets edging out the Wizards. And I got coming out of the East, the Bucks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said before, I think the Bucks. They're a sleeper. When was the last time you had the defending champ as a sleeper? Think about it.
I don't know if they're the sleeper though.
Because
I really don't know.
Because everyone's talking about the Brooklyn Nets, the Lakers, the Heat, but no one's talking about the Milwaukee Bucks as a repeat, as a contender.
There is an asterisk, right? When people talk about the Bucks, where if James Harden was in, I get it.
KD, if Kyrie and James Harden go down with injuries that series, I know.
And I seen that you mentioned the Heat, but like the names I've been hearing like this past offseason, like who's gonna win the chip, has only been 2 teams. And if anything, that third team is the Bucks. I wouldn't hear the Heat until like maybe fourth or fifth.
I'm talking about the Heat as like a Eastern Conference contender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Not in championship.
Oh, okay.
All right, so my Western Conference teams seeding. One, I got Utah, the Jazz. The two, the Phoenix Suns. Very interesting because DeAndre Ayton, what happened? We'll get that. We'll get to that later.
And Phoenix is moving crazy with that, man.
Yeah, makes
like
Landry Shamet gets the
here's about to say really quick. I know we gotta get going, but I don't understand. First of all, campaign, you need to fire your agent because
what are you doing, man?
The fact that Landry Shamet was acquired via trade from the Nets, right? They give him they give him a rookie extension, right? That's 2 times more than what Campaign is getting paid. The Campaign actually had a great playoffs. Who deserves? He showed up. Big time. Where Shamet didn't really play, right? And then you give $90 million to Mikal Bridges, and then you don't give the guy who actually sacrificed and actually was an intricate part of you getting to the finals, which was DeAndre Ayton, who. Okay, yeah. Say what as a Laker fan, I know the real story, right? But at the end of the day, he outplayed Anthony Davis. Let's just call it what it is. His AD was hurt, right? In round two, he outplayed the MVP. He outplayed the MVP. Yeah. We forget in the conference finals who dunked the alley to turn that whole series around. It was DeAndre Ayton who hit the game-winning dunk. So and I get it. When he got to Giannis, he was getting cooked. But this Giannis, bro. At the end of the day,
everybody will get cooked by Giannis.
Yeah, so it's just I don't understand.
Giannis is going to get his buckets.
Yeah, I just don't understand what Robert. I don't know what
Robert Sarver. I don't know. Yes,
he's known. If you look at the history of the Suns, he's known to be cheap. Did you know that he sold the G League team?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he sold their G League team, so that they don't have. This is like a couple years ago, I believe. He sold the G League team. If you look at the past contracts, right? Like Amari Stoudemire, he didn't want to pay. Steve Nash, he didn't want to pay. In order for you to win, in order for you to be a consistent contender in the NBA, you have to spend the money.
You have to spend the money.
You have to spend the money. It is what it is. If you look at the past 10 years, not even you can even go 20. Everybody, all these organizations had to spend the money in order to stay afloat. It is what it is. You have to do that.
They've been in the negative.
Yeah, you have to pay that luxury tax, man.
Yep.
So I just don't understand that.
And sometimes you my bad. You really get the benefit of where you have good pieces that you acquired on your team that's could contend for a championship, and you got good draft picks as well too. Right. That really happens.
Now what's going to happen? I can guarantee you, there's going to be a team like Orlando or I don't know, maybe Houston or OKC, whatever. There's going to be one of those San Antonio who's going to say, you know what, Aiden, here's the max, and you're going to be a featured player on our team. He's going to be like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Or you know what I'm saying? One of those big market teams that are lurking around, like, oh, he's a bit.
Let the Lakers get DeAndre. We're known for getting bigs. That's all I'm saying. But
listen, Anthony Davis in the front court.
Oh my God! But all I'm saying is, you don't want to, as a contender, you don't want to create an issue with one of your key players, one of your stars, because now he's going to start questioning: Do they have my best interest? Right? I sacrificed because I was supposed to be the guy. Devin Booker was actually frustrated here when DeAndre Ayton got to the Suns. Devin Booker was on the brink of wanting to axe out because he was frustrated. Because what did he say? I'm tired of losing. If you look at any player in any star in NBA history, as soon as they say they're tired of losing, that's an indication of saying, "Hey, the clock is ticking." Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day,
look at Ben Simmons.
I just don't understand what the Suns are doing. That's why they'll always be the Suns, and I'm not worried about them. But yeah, continue.
All right, so let's continue to with our playoff seedings. All right, so I had the Jazz at 1 in the West, the Suns 2nd in the West, Lakers at 3. Nuggets at 4, because I think Jamal Murray's going to come back late in the season, giving that little push. Mavs at 5. Clippers at 6. Now, this is where things get real interesting. My playing teams, the Warriors at 7, Blazers at 8, Grizzlies at 9, and then it's going to be a race for the last playing spot between the Timberwolves and the Sacramento Kings.
Okay, and we'll get to my list too. I like the T-Wolves, but yeah, the Warriors as a playing team. Ooh, I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. It could be that Warrior team is a wild card team in that whole conference because Klay Thompson's not going to be back until January, the earliest. So if they can hold fort until maybe through Christmas or New Year's Day, and be like,
I believe that they will, though.
30, be like 30 games in to be like around 20-10, or in that range. Klay Thompson comes back in, maybe they could get that little traction going between Steph and Klay and Draymond and the young guys. You never know how things can play out in the Western Conference. So this is a wild card team to me. They can finish anywhere from the top 4 to the play-ins. That's how wide the margin is for the Warriors, to me.
All right. Armani? Oh, well, your champions, Eric.
Oh, my champions? Okay, so I had the Bucks coming out the East. In the West, ooh.
You questioning?
This one I get the Nick Young meme.
Yeah, like what? Nah, but go ahead. It's your prediction. It's your right. Go ahead. It's fine. I won't blow a casket because I know what's gonna happen. Go ahead.
I'm going Bucks versus Lakers.
Okay.
Right?
And who's winning it?
Game 7 in Milwaukee. LeBron finds a way to pull it out in Milwaukee.
Oh man! All right. I like it.
Because the West, I had in the conference finals, I had the Lakers and the Suns.
And the conference finals. Ooh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see the Clippers getting out because Kawhi.
Yeah, we need that get back anyway. So yeah, send them my way.
Dallas, Jason Kidd. I'm not. I know everyone's high on Jason Kidd and Luka Doncic. I'm not.
There's a sour taste in your mouth because it's the Dallas Knicks. It's the Dallas Knicks over there.
No. Frank. Well, here's the thing. Frank Ntilikina wasn't worth the 8th pick, all right? I'm not sure about how that.
They got Frank Ntilikina. They have
Tim
Hardaway Jr. They have Reggie Bullock. Jr. They have Kristaps Porzingis. All these ex-Knicks players. Like, damn. That's why they call them the Dallas Knicks.
It's like the 2015 Knicks.
Seriously. All you need is Melo.
Yeah, like Melo and Amari Stoudemire.
All right, call him for the big 3. See if he can play.
All right,
cool.
I'll go. So for the East, I have the Bucks 1. I have the Nets 2. Like these are things that we already know. For the 3rd seed, I have the Heat. The 4th seed, I have the Hawks. I feel like the Hawks is going to come back. Well, I wouldn't really say with a vengeance, but I feel like they was almost there to the promised land to be like, all right, we know.
They got a little taste of it.
Yeah. But the thing is that they didn't do much retooling to kind of like signify that to move the needle.
They kept the same. They kept it
right. And let me just finish this, and then I'll explain what I wanted to talk about. What I spoke to you guys about.
Here we go, man.
So
here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So all right. So for number 5, for the 5th seed, I got the Chicago Bulls. They make their return back to the postseason. For the 6th seed, I got the dysfunctional 76ers. The 7th seed, I have the beloved New York Knicks. The 8th seed, I got the Knicks and the Celtics going to be like in the play-in. And I have the Celtics at 8, which is really crazy, The 9th seed, I have the Pacers, and the 10th seed, it's either between the Hornets and the Wizards. So what I wanted to mention was that actually I was watching NBA TV this morning, and I'm not sure if this was a a re-recording. I can't remember the analyst's name. I know his first name was Tim. Don't really know his last name. But he had the Hawks coming out of the East. And yeah. And he was just saying like they got a young core, kind of reminds him of the Warriors back like a couple years ago. And I'm like, bro, the Hawks is getting past the Bucks. And like pretty much what I just said, the Hawks they got there. They almost got to the promised land, but didn't really make the right adjustments to kind of move the needle to say, hey, yo, these boys is coming back. So how would you get that to say like, yo, they're gonna beat the Bucks, they're gonna beat the Nets, they're gonna beat the Heat, they're gonna beat the Bulls, maybe, but the other three teams I mentioned, I don't think so.
I don't think they even beat the Knicks in a playoff series.
Right. So that's what I'm just like, whoa, like that take was like I literally had to stop me at breakfast, like what? Like
what did Stephen A. Smith say? Stay off the weed. Duh.
Yeah. All right. So for the Western Conference, I got the Utah Jazz. I feel like they're gonna hit the ground running. It's gonna be the same song and dance. We already know what we get in Utah Jazz, even though they added a couple pieces in the offseason. They're gonna be that team to take the regular season seriously. But the thing is, what they do in the playoffs, that's up to them. The second seed, I have the Suns. Same thing. They got there to the promised land. They want to take the season series seriously. Excuse me. But this whole DeAndre Ayton thing, how far can it get blown out? You know what I mean? Like, but
so
I don't.
Here's the thing: is the deadline was yesterday at 6 p.m.
Yesterday. For the extension.
So now he has to wait until the offseason to either sign or become an unrestricted free agent after next season, though. So like he has to still play this year and next year. So after not this summer coming, after this season, the following summer, he could be an unrestricted free agent. Yeah.
So the reason why I brought that up, because like as far as like personality and team chemistry in the locker room, like remember that year when after I believe it was after the 2003 series when Shaq was like, yo, give me my money, and I remember in the preseason game, he dunked the ball and he looked at Jerry West, was like, are you going to pay me my beeping money? Right. So, and then there's a lot of people saying that, like, as far as like everybody's getting max money nowadays, like the league just has money to throw around, like potentially James Harden could be a player to get $60 million, like, which is really crazy.
Which is
the first player. Right,
and that's why they didn't sign. He didn't sign the extension last night.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for him to do it.
Right, because he's gonna get more. You're
gonna get more.
So everybody's case is like DeAndre Ayton and like the max. Like you can't be asking for max money when you're getting 15 points and 11 rebounds. But the man averaged 62% field goal shooting in the playoffs. Now I understand, that's not inflated numbers. That's not like your AD numbers. I get it. But he played a pivotal part in the Suns making the finals last year, So you also got to take that into account as well too. So I'm not sure if like just his ego is going to get to him. Like, nah, like I'm not saying something on like Kyrie Irving's level or Ben Simmons level, but it might, I don't know, for whatever reason, it might cause a little bit of friction. But I still have the Suns at number 2. Moving on, I got the Lake Show at number 3. There's going to be like a lot of low management this season. So, and matter of fact, we're going into the season already banged up. Like we're missing Kendrick Nunn. We're missing THC. We're missing Trevor Ariza. We just added Avery Bradley, who I felt like should never left in the first place.
And we're also missing Wayne Ellington with the hamstring. Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I have the Lakers at. I would love for us to steamroll the season, but just being realistic here. The 4th seed, I got the Nuggets. I might get a lot of flack because I'm counting the MVP out. I'm not counting the MVP out. It's just that all the other teams I listed are better than the Nuggets. But we also got
Jamal Murray's out.
Exactly. So
Jamal Murray's out.
Right, and I feel like this next team is also facing the same issues that the Nuggets are facing, and that's injuries. And with the 5th seed, with that being said, we got the Los Angeles Clippers. The whole issue with Kawhi Leonard, like he's injured as well too. So we're gonna see that how how much can PG do to keep them in the middle of the pack, so they don't fall into like a playing game or something like that. The 6th seed, I have the Warriors, so a little bit higher than you, Eric. I feel like the Warriors, they have a good culture going on, even without Clay. Like they still can win games, even though they added a dude of Andre Iguodala's caliber. You know what I mean? Who brings really good IQ to the game. Not saying he's going to move the needle or anything, but like just to make him a little bit more competitive. You know, give him another basketball insight, because I feel like at the beginning of last season when everybody was locked in on Curry, and I feel like Curry didn't really have a direction of who to go to because he's playing with like a whole new cast of players. So, but the emergence of Jordan Poole, he's looking out. He's going to turn out to be really, really good, man. For the 7th seed, I got the Dallas Mavericks. We just got to see. Also, like we also got to take into account into like trades, but this is just like looking at the season and these teams' rosters, like in the moment, we're just going off that. So anything can happen. Like for whatever reason, I don't know, the Mavericks can mess around and get Karl Anthony Towns and they jump to like the front of the pack, But for the 7th seed, I have the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like Luka's going to be on the carrying job. KP need to get the work, like this is a tandem that when we seen got paired up a couple years ago, we were just like, yo, they're going to be dangerous. And now it's like, we just look at them and laugh.
It kind of gave you the what Nash and Nowitzki could have been if Nash stayed in Dallas. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's just the issue with that. The 8th seed, I got the Portland Trailblazers. We already know how that go. Like the Trailblazers been finding themselves like in the later pack of the conference. So I could definitely see them being in the playing team. The Grizzlies, I have them as the 9th playing scenario again. So now the 10th seed was kind of hard because it was a toss up between 3 teams. I had the Pelicans, I had the Timberwolves, and I had the Kings. So,
Pelicans, you can get them out. The thing with the Pelicans, I think, is I think the Pelicans
Zion again.
Yeah, I don't know. No one knows Zion. Zion's not going to play a full year. Like it's clear. No. And I think more and more he's becoming less and less invested with them. Just with the whole back and forth between him and David Griffin, like they don't talk to each other. He's not happy with how they took injuries. When he can't. It's just weird how that organization is being ran. Like, and I just think Brandon Ingram is going to really go into his own this year. He's going to. Honestly, I got him averaging like 28 a game this year, but the team's going to win like 30 something games. So yeah, if that.
Yeah, and as far as the Eastern Conference, who I got coming out the East, this is difficult, man. Shit. I want to say the Nets.
Cursing.
Oh, my bad. I want to say the Nets.
You want to keep it clean.
Yeah, I got the Nets coming out the East. Even though they're dealing with this whole Kyrie Irving situation, I still believe they can make it out. And especially everybody's healthy, even when Harden was healthy, even when Harden was healthy, Harden and KD healthy, like that's still very dangerous. And for coming out the West, like who else, man? Like, come on. So I got the Nets and the Lakers in the finals. This is what everybody wanted for like the past 3 years, 3-4 years. And I'm going with the Lake Show, man. I'm going with the Lake Show. In the 7-game series, I feel like it's going to come down to the wire. Like, there's going to be a time when Harden makes a crazy shot, KD comes out and makes a crazy shot, Westbrook does a crazy and-1 layup. Like, it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be jam-packed with just like a lot of action things going on. Like, so, yeah, man. Let's go ahead, bro.
All right, cool. So I'll start with the East. In the East, I have the Bucks as the number 1 team. I just think they're going to take the regular season very seriously. With Giannis and Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. I think they got a swagger about them this year where they know what it takes to win. They had a taste of being on the mountaintop. So I just think that they'll take the regular season very, very seriously because they're going to want home court advantage. So
can we just say one thing? One thing I forgot to mention. I'm not sure if this is going to happen in the season, but what we seen in preseason, this man Giannis looked like he had a jump shot. Listen, and he's confident.
His jump shot to me, right? When I look at his jump shot, it's not elongated. He doesn't like force it like from his like upper body. If you look at his jump shot now, he's actually using his legs, right? And now it's going to be difficult for teams to guard him, because if they back off, which they normally do now, and build a wall, he's going to have that 18 to 16, 14 foot jump shot, which he can make. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. He shot over 49% from the field, right? And he shot 80% from the paint in the playoffs last year. So I just think, you know, the Bucks will take the regular season a lot more seriously, because they're going to want the home court advantage. I got the Nets as the number 2 seed. Regardless of the Kyrie situation, I think the Kyrie issue would affect them more in the playoffs, and I'll get to that, more so than the regular season. I just think the regular season, they just have too much talent. It's too much nights that people take off, and their talent is going to supersede a lot of just games where they could potentially lose and they'll just wind up winning. So I got the Nets at 2. I got the Heat at number 3. The Heat are going to be a nightmare for other teams on the defensive end of the side on the defensive side of the ball, because the thing is, when you put guys out there like Bam, who's defensive minded, Jimmy, who's defensive minded, PJ Tucker, who's defensive minded, and then you also add Kyle Lowry, who's defensive minded, they're gonna annoy a lot of teams throughout the year. And I just think if you're the Nets or the Bucks, you don't want to see them unless you have to. Like, you don't want to in the playoffs, right? Because they're gonna. Oh man, it's gonna be a dogfight, and they're gonna make you work. So I got the Heat at 3. 4, I have the Hawks. I just think the Hawks are going into the year knowing what they have to do. They're going off that swagger. They're gonna have a good vibe about them. I think a lot of the issues between like Trae Young and John Collins are like in the past, and they can move forward. I just think they won't be any better. They could potentially be a first round exit to me, because they didn't tweak anything to get better. They're the same team. So I just think that during the regular season, they have good enough talent just to be a 4 seed. But I don't see them going further than that. 5th seed, I got the Sixers, and that's an asterisk, because I do not know what's going to happen with the whole Ben Simmons thing and what they can get in return. Because at this point, he has to go. The whole issue today with him being thrown out of practice and all that stuff, because he didn't want to do defensive drills or whatever the case is, and then you got Joel Embiid on the podium talking about, I don't care about that man anymore or whatever. At this point, like if Daryl Morey, and I hope one day you listen to our podcast, you should be. But Daryl Morey, at this point, you need to get rid of him, because it's becoming a toxic environment, not just for Ben Simmons. It's also now frustrating your star. And if it frustrates your star, it's going to frustrate everyone else.
Exactly.
You're in a no-win situation keeping him right now. What I understand, you want to get an all-star and a James Harden-esque return for his value, but now you're not, because Ben Simmons also diminishes his own value. So teams know he doesn't want to be there, so they're not going to give you their best pieces to get him. You have to just give up on him. I understand you don't want to pay pennies on the dollar, but it is what it is. You got to cut your losses, take what you can get, and move on. Okay.
You should have made that trade last year.
You should have made the hardest trade
last year.
Yep. So yeah, I got Sixers at 5, Bulls at 6, just missing the plane by a half game over the Knicks. I just think the Bulls are going to be a team that a lot of people are going to surprise, because, again, as I stated before in the podcast, I think they're going to be the Hawks of last year. Not getting as further as they did, but as far as like the regular season, they were really surprising a lot of teams. Looking at them, watching a couple of their preseason games, their tempo is going to be phenomenal. They're going to be really fun to watch. So I have the Bulls at 6, just inching in. And then I have the Knicks at 7, only because I feel like the Knicks are going to have harder games to play. Meaning, I always harp on this throughout the podcast, and all year teams are going to be prepared for them. And I have to see what that defense is going to look like now. You got 2 players who don't really play good defense in your starting lineup. So I have to, and then I got to see if Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy for a full year. So I have to see, but again, anything can happen, right? I can see the Knicks getting in and avoiding the play-in, but I also can see them in the play-in. The same thing like the Bulls. I think the Knicks and Bulls are on the same tier right now. Celtics, I got 8. The Celtics, they're going to be you have 2 really great players on your team with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I just think the guard play is going to be a little bit fishy. Dennis Schroeder's going to a contract year again, so he's definitely going to try to prove himself. I don't know if that's going to take away from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's like effectiveness on the game, So I'm iffy about that. And then obviously Marcus Smart. They relatively have a small backcourt, so I don't know. Like I got to see how that works. I just think ultimately, like if you look at their best playmaker is going to be Al Horford. That to me
he's out for the opener.
Right, exactly. So I got the Celtics like crawling to 8, and then I have the Pacers at 9. I think it'll take some time for them to kind of get it together with Rick Carlisle. I got to see what TJ Warren looks like when he comes back from injury, and then how all that going to gel when TJ Warren gets back. Who wants the ball?
And Karis
LeVert, who wants the ball, and
Sabonis
who wants the ball. So I got to see what that looks like. And then 10, I have the Hornets/Wizards. The Wizards are going to be horrible defensively. Oh my God, they're going to be really, really bad defensively. Kyle Kuzma is going to really put up.
I hope so. He better.
He's going to put up shots, but I don't know if they're going to be efficient. So
he better.
I'm going to stick with the Hornets. I'm going to say the Hornets making it in the play. And coming out the East, we're going to wait. Hold on. Let's get to the West. I got a scenario as to why I'm going to wait, and I'll give you my 2 scenarios. So in the West, I actually got the Suns as the number 1 seed. I just think the Suns are really just going to just come out the gate swinging. I think they kind of know, people kind of are writing them off a little bit. So they're going to take the season a little bit more seriously. Again, but it's all fluid because I think what all happens with DeAndre Ayton. I think that's a really big thing. People are underestimating what's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got the Jazz at number 2. I just think the Jazz are going to, again, another team that has a home court advantage because those crazy ass fans. And Utah usually takes the regular season pretty seriously. So I definitely got Utah as number 2. Number 3, I got the Lakers. I think the first couple games is going to be a little bit tough. I wouldn't say tough, but it'll be some growing pains. They got the Warriors tonight, and then on
a headache.
Yeah, and I think Thursday they have the Suns. So and after that, it's like they got like they got the Thunder twice. They got the Rockets, I think. So like they'll have time to kind of gel. Their first 15 games, I think 85 or 90% of those games are at home. So I think they'll have the opportunity to kind of gel and get those things together. But what hurts them right now is injuries. So that's another like integration period they have to do. So they're gonna gel with those guys out. But then now when Ariza and CHG comes back now you got to incorporate them into the offense as well. So I think they're gonna go through two times where they're trying to figure out how this whole thing fits. But I got them as a 3 seed. 4 seed, I'm high on them more than you guys are on these guys. I got the Warriors at 4. I think the Warriors are going to surprise a lot of people. Jordan Poole is actually going to be a really good player. I going to the Laker game in person and actually seeing them play, the Warriors are going to be really buckets. Yeah, Jordan Poole is going to provide a lot of offense for them. Wiggins now can move to his natural position with Jordan Poole in the starting lineup. Then you're going to have Steph, and then obviously when Klay comes back, Poole moves to the bench, and then they have a bench unit. Like I think the Warriors are going to be way better than these playing teams I'm going to mention coming down the line. I just think they know this year it's not just a fluke year, or we're just trying to wait till Klay comes back. This is strength strength in numbers, I think Warriors are back. So I got them at 4. At 5, I got the Mavericks. I just think, they edge out because the top 5, only because of injuries between the Clippers and the Nuggets. I just think they're able to withstand that. I think actually Jason Kidd finds a way to incorporate Porzingis a little bit better than Rick Carlisle did, and I see them improving a little bit. So I got them at 5. At 6, I got the Nuggets, only because Jamal Murray's not going to be there. Having Monte Morris and Frank Campazzo as your backcourt, I am not confident that's going to get it done throughout the regular season. Jokic will be Jokic, but it'll be a lot more on him to carry this load. I don't know if MPJ is set for it. Right? He's not a good defender. He's a good shooter, but that's really it. But good addition with Jeff Green. He's a good veteran. He could put up numbers in bunches when he's hot. But I just think without Jamal Murray, they kind of suffer because there's so many great guards in the West right now. Yeah. And it's going to be tough for them to kind of get through that just with one big who has to go through Anthony Davis, Porzingis,
and really good role players.
Ayton, Gobert, like the list goes on, So I think the Nuggets are making it to the 6th seed. Playing teams, I got the Clippers at 7. Only reason why I said the Clippers, because I just don't think Ty Lue and that organization have to kind of play it safe, because you don't want to push Paul George too much into the ground, because then now you're going to have a problem with maybe his injury history, and then you got Kawhi, you're not showing what he's going to do. I think they're going to just stay afloat, so as long as they can get in, I have a chance to get in, Kawhi will be back, and then I think they'll make a push in the playoffs. But for the regular season, I kind of think right now they'll not saying they'll coast, but they won't push the pedal too much. The 8th seed, I got the Grizzlies as 8th. I just think that's just where they are. They didn't make any great moves. I think losing Valanciunas was kind of big for them. Adding
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams was a question, but it was a head scratcher for me. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. So for 9, I got the Blazers. Damian Lillard. I just need him. I can't bet against him at least making the playoffs. At the very least. At 10, I got the Timberwolves because I like the T-Wolves. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is going to have a really, really good year based on everything that's happened to him, and I think this time around he'll be more focused. I know he wants to win. He's going to be motivated. Having Anthony Edwards along him by his side, I think it'll be great. So there goes my 10 for each conference. Now my championship, my coming out the West is the Lakers, prohibitive favorite. I think there's no one in the West that could kind of contend with the Lakers when it comes to the time of the playoffs. I think they'll gel by then, and they'll be pretty tough to beat. In the East, it all depends on Kyrie Irving. If Kyrie Irving is playing, I got the Nets going to the finals. But I got them losing to the Lakers in the finals with Kyrie Irving, because I think the issue is that Russell Westbrook is going to be the key in that series. Russell Westbrook is going to be so physically dominant when it comes to those guards of attacking the rim. The weakness of the Nets is rim protection, and they're gonna give him drop back coverage all the time. But at the end of the day, they don't have length. So Russell Westbrook is going to attack Kyrie Irving. He's going to attack those guards. He's going to attack Nick Claxton. He's going to attack LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin. And obviously, if KD's on the opposite end of that court, is motivational thing for Russell Westbrook. So
you're gonna be locked in.
Right. I got the Lakers beating the Nets in 7 games. But if the Bucks and the Lakers meet in the finals, I think I'm gonna go with the Bucks, man. I hate to say it. The Bucks are a nightmare matchup for Russell Westbrook, because they're gonna dare Russell Westbrook to shoot,
to drive,
right? And he's gonna be tough for him to drive because the Bucks are really long, right? You're gonna have Brook Lopez in the paint, you're gonna have Bobby Portis in the paint, you're gonna have Giannis in the paint, and then your point of attack is Drew Holiday. You know what I'm saying? So, and I I think if it gets to a 7-game series, though, I'm going to bet on the Lakers because it's LeBron James, and I don't bet against LeBron James in a 7-game series. But if that series goes 5 or 6, it's literally because it's a really bad matchup for them, and I just think because Russell Westbrook will struggle, it'll just hurt. So right now, I got Lakers Nets. Lakers winning the series, but I can see the Bucks coming out of the East as well. And if it's the Bucks and Lakers, I got the Lakers by a slight edge margin, but I wouldn't bet. I wouldn't put my last dollar on the Lakers to win that series. Let's put it that way, right?
Okay.
So as we commence that, again, share your thoughts, guys, and shout us out. Let us know what you think. We lost Eric. I know he has some technical. Oh, there goes Eric.
There you go.
Eric is back.
Yeah,
okay,
we're back.
So yeah, that's just my prediction there with those, and then we can get into the season awards. So for MVP this year,
Ernest, what was your predictions again? Because I missed it.
Oh, I had the Nets and the Lakers right in the finals, contingent on Kyrie. If Kyrie's there, I got the Nets making it out the East. If Kyrie is there. I just think, though, the Lakers beat them because Russell Westbrook is going to be the key because he's so aggressive and so physically dominant and imposing. He's going to give trouble to those guards, trying to guard him from the paint, trying to guard him from getting into the paint. And then I just think his physicality is gonna just weigh in on Nick Claxton and LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin. They don't have the strength on their bodies to handle that. And then you got AD inside banging. And then obviously LeBron James. So, but if the Bucks make it, right, and it's the Bucks and Lakers, I think it's a worse. It's a more difficult matchup for the Lakers to play the Bucks than it is the Nets, because I think with Russ being there, it now shortens. Now you're playing 4 and 5 because they have the length to defend the paint and the rim, and they're going to dare Russ to, all right, shoot the ball. And that's not kind of Russ's strength. And he's going to try to force things in the paint, and it's going to be very difficult for him to get to the bucket because you're going to have Giannis, you're going to have Drew Holiday's your point of attack, you're going to have Bobby Portis, you're going to have Brook Lopez all bothering him. Not to mention Grayson Allen and DiVincenzo are on this team. So I just think, at the end of the day, I got the Lakers winning it all. Let's just put that out there, right? But I wouldn't bet my last dollar on the Lakers beating the Bucks if the Lakers play the Bucks in the finals. But the Lakers play the Nets. I like that matchup better because I just think if you look at it from a scheme standpoint, yes, offensively the Nets have this firepower. We've never seen these three players, on a team like this before. I just think scheme-wise, you look at the matchups, Lakers going to be so far more physical than the Nets. That'll give them the edge to win that series, which the Bucks can match that physicality in my estimation. So that's why that's my scenario with that. But yeah, let's get into before we end the show.
Our last segment.
Yep, our last segment before we end the show because the NBA is about to kick off very soon. Let's get into our awards. So who do you guys got for MVP?
So for MVP, I have Luka. Yeah, I know it was. I didn't want to go with Giannis. I went with Luka because I feel like they, especially with the injuries that is going on with the Nuggets and the Clippers, is like they have an easier way to climb up the standings. And usually the MVP award is usually given out to roughly around like maybe the 3rd or the 4th seed. But the thing is, like, Luka's going to constantly put up numbers, that you can't even. You have no choice but to look at it and say he's the MVP. But it all comes down to team success. But for my pick, I got Luka.
Okay. Eric?
My MVP, I got Giannis. I think he's mission this season to get back to the finals and win it. I think he's going to have a big season coming up. And in addition with his jump shot, I think he's going to have a monster season. I'm predicting 29, 15, and 7 with 3 blocks. So that's my MVP right there.
Yeah, my MVP is going to be Giannis and or LeBron James. I just think people are underestimating the difficulty it'll take for LeBron to kind of figure this whole thing out. And if we've never seen a player in year 19 sustain this level of success and athleticism, this relevancy. I just think just the narrative, because we all know MVP is about narratives. I think LeBron has a chance to get the MVP this year. I don't think he's going to be going for it because I think his focus is just going to be like gelling the team together and trying to get to the finals and win that chip. But I can see it. But I would go with Giannis as well. And I like your Luka point too. I think with my ranking, if the Mavs are a top 5 team in the West, you can pencil Luka in as a finals as an MVP finalist for sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So next, Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year for me, I have Anthony Davis. I just think the defense this year, AD having a full offseason, really being able to showcase. He doesn't have to carry the load offensively as much as he had to the past couple of years. I just think now this year he can really focus on defense, especially him playing the 5 a lot more. I got him as my Defensive Player of the Year.
For DPOY, I got Giannis. I feel like the league has moved more towards like a whole analytics kind of thing. So even if you're not recording the actual stat as far as like a block or like a defensive rebounds, like there's certain numbers in there that also count to you being a pivotal part in winning the award.
PR,
right, exactly, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So there's like pretty much what you mentioned, like about, let's just say if the Lakers and the Bucks was to meet, and I'm not counting this whole take on that, but a lot of dudes not going to want to go in the lane with Giannis standing there. You see Giannis there, you shooting the ball. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he's going to put like a fear in a lot of players' heart. Like, yo, you either want to go up, get blocked, or I'm going to put you down, when you go up against me. So I got Giannis for Defensive Player of the Year.
All right, for my Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go this route. I'm going to go Joel Embiid. I think he has a big chip on his shoulder. Last year and ended way. It ended ugly.
Yeah, it ended weird.
Yep. And also, and plus what's happening right now with the whole Ben Simmons situation, he's just very about getting back to basketball. And I just think he's gonna have a resurgent season. He doesn't want to be deal with the nonsense. Him and Doc Rivers. I think he's gonna come out with a monster defensive season, and I think he's on the mission also. I got him as the best player of the year.
Nice. Rookie of the Year. So for me, I think a lot of people are gonna take Kay Cunningham and Jalen Green. I have Jalen Green penciled in. I just think he's just gonna score a bunch of points. That Rocket team they're really young. They're not going to be very good, but he's going to have a lot of highlights. But my sleeper for Rookie of the Year too is Josh Giddey from OKC. Josh Giddey is going to be really, really, really good. He's a good shooter. He's a very good feel for the game. He can pass really well. If you guys get a chance, watch some OKC games this year. Josh Giddey is going to be really good. I'm excited to see him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander work together as they're like 1 and 2. But yeah, I got either Jalen Green or Josh Giddey because I just think with Kay Cunningham, you're gonna have Jeremy Grant there in Detroit, and Jeremy Grant is the focal point of that offense.
Mm-hmm. So for Rookie of the Year, this was tough for like these reasons. So I had Cade, but the thing is that like it also relates to like team success as well too. But the thing is like the difference between the MVP award and the Rookie of the Year award is like, all right, you can't do so much. You can, but then again, it's like as much is not really expected from you or your team. So that's where Cade comes into play. But then Jalen, on the other hand, can also make a case as well for it too. But what brings him back is that there's a lot of young guys on that team. Pretty much what you just mentioned. You have Christian Wood, you have Kevin Martin Jr., you have Kevin Porter. Like you have a lot of these guys that's going to be out there gunning. And like I always say, there's only one basketball. So and I think the Rockets are in this process where they're trying to figure out who the guy is. And these young players, they let that ego get to their head and like I'm the guy. You know what I mean? So, but if I had to choose, I will go with Cade.
For my rookie of the year, I'm going Evan Mobley with the Cavaliers.
Oh yeah, nice.
I really like his game a lot. Watching him out of USC a lot. He has a big man's game.
Yeah, he
And I
reminds me
also,
of Anthony Davis a lot too.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And I just think that the Cavaliers they're moving in that direction of rebuilding, building development, and under that coaching staff of Jimmy Bickerstaff and I think he's gonna get a lot of touches. Plus, he's gonna be in that front court with Jared Allen, so he's gonna help him out a lot. Um, Also, I just think the playmaking of Colin Sexton and Darius Garland is gonna help out a lot with Evan Mobley. I really like.
I got a little thing about that though. I think Colin Sexton is going to be traded though.
Yeah, I can see that too. And
Yeah.
trade deadline.
I think they're log jam at the four. But this is the reason why I didn't pick Evan Mobley because I think they're so log jam at the forward center position. Like they have Kevin Love, they have Laurie Marketing, they have Jared Allen, and they got more. I just like where's Mobley getting these minutes from? You know
He's
what I mean?
gonna get minutes.
Play, you know,
If you're a top 5 pick, you getting minutes, and someone's gonna have to get traded out.
Yeah,
So I
that's
think
true.
he's gonna slip into that. Maybe not to the starting role early, but later on into the season, and he's gonna develop. And I really like this game a lot. I think I can see him coming out as rookie of the year.
Okay. And lastly, Coach of the Year.
Coach of the year, I got Monty Williams. I feel like he's going to continue with the progression that he had last year with that Phoenix Suns basketball club. And I mean, even though nobody doubted him as a coach, we all knew that Coach Monty was a really good coach. Just never been in a position to like I think that's the farthest he's gotten. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's just going to continue with that whole narrative, especially with. Even though there isn't much drama, like we spoke about earlier, like the caliber of like Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving with the whole DeAndre Ayton issue, I feel like they still got the same core, with like a few added pieces. Like they picked up Landry Shaman, they picked up JaVale McGee, who was a really good pickup, So I think he's the coach of the year in my book,
Okay. Eric?
Coach of the year. I'm gonna go co-coach of the year. I'm gonna go Billy Donovan Bulls and James Borrego of the Hornets.
I like that.
I like it's just me. For me, it's just the Bulls. They've exceeded. They've upgraded their roster a lot. So I think they're gonna get into the playing tournament, and I think the second year of with the LaMelo Ball in the young roster.
That's going to be a fun team to watch.
That's going to be a very fun team.
I think what James Borrego did last year, he had him in the playoff spot until injuries caught up with them.
Yeah.
So I think with the full season, full training camp, and with the emergence of that young core of the Hornets, I think James Borrego is going to get some serious consideration of coach of the year, him and Billy Donovan.
Nice. I'm gonna go different here. I like your Billy Donovan pick though, Eric. Like I think Billy Donovan will be a candidate. But I have the two LA coaches. I have Frank Vogel and I have Ty Lue. The reason why Frank Vogel I think can have the opportunity because if the Lakers want to have the best record in the West.
Right.
And again, it's all narrative based. Like we all know this is a storyline. Like all these awards are always mostly driven by obviously the success of the player and or executive or coach, but also there's a narrative push behind all these things. We all know this. So there's a narrative out there with the Lakers, right? And a lot of people not high on them, and they think the fit is not great, and Frank Vogel's going to have a tough time, figuring out the lineup schemes and how to do this and how to fit Russ and how to fit these old guys and how to fit the new guys. The Lakers wind up with either the best record in the West or even the best record in the league. Frank Vogel will get the consideration to be the coach of the year. Also, Ty Lue. What Ty Lue, to me, showed last year in the playoffs, so he's the best coach in the league right now. With the adjustments he can make on the fly from series to series and plays to plays, I'm really interested to see what he does with this Clippers roster. I think if the Clippers avoid the play-in with Kawhi being out and just having Paul George, and Reggie Jackson. And somehow improving Eric Bledsoe's production, I think he gets coach of the year. because no one right now was anticipating the Clippers to be a top 5 team in the West. So if they somehow get to that point, and without Kawhi Leonard, I think Ty Lue gets that Coach of the Year nod. But I do see Billy Donovan. That's a really good.
That's
think about him. Billy Donovan, I think, can actually be the Coach of the Year as well with the Bulls' success. So, yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna do 6 man of the year. Our last one. We can do
that's the last one. Yeah.
That one. And we also got to do most improved. We could do that
That'll be our last two.
6 man of the year was really hard for me because it came down to 2. Well, actually 3. And like I said, it all depends on team success. So I'm gonna choose one. I'm gonna go with Tyler Hero on this one. It was hard between him and Kevin Huerter, even though like I'm kind of counting out the defending, reigning 6 man of the year award winner and Jordan Clarkson, JC. But I feel like with the Heat been really better this year, Tyler Hero is going to have to play a very important role on this basketball team to get him over the hump. They have all the pieces. Right. They just got to win.
Yeah.
You know? Right. And I also was going to say Kevin Huerter, especially with the Hawks, you know, what we talked about earlier in the show about how the Hawks were almost there. They went in 6 games with the champions, you know? Like Kevin Huerter coming off the bench, he definitely shown that he could light it up, you know? So, and I feel like when it comes down to 6 man, they usually kind of give it to the guy who's coming off the bench and scoring a bunch of points. Like, you know, as long as you can affect the game in an offensive way, like it's like, hey, bro, you got it, you know? But those two are marksmen. They're going to come off the bench, score some points, get some buckets really quickly in numbers. So but my pick is Tyler Hero.
Okay. I'm going to go with Patty Mills. I think the Nets with no Kyrie Irving.
I thought of it.
With no Kyrie Irving right now.
There's somebody else I thought about too, but go ahead, keep going.
I think Patty Mills has a chance to get 6 man of the year. I think he's going to be like on fire off the bench, you know, with his shooting ability, his playmaking, trying to, you know, get into the cup. He's very good at what he does, his role, you know, especially now, you know, now he's actually playing for a championship contender. I think, I'm going to go with Patty Mills as my 6 man. I do like the Tyler Hero scenario though, but I'm going to go with him there.
For my 6 man of the year, I'm going Derrick Rose.
Okay.
Last year when he got traded to the Knicks, they went 24-11 with him in on their roster.
Yeah, they did.
He picked it up.
He was big down the stretch.
Yep.
Thibodeau, he trusts him a whole lot more than what he had as starting point guard. Now you add Kemba to the lineup, and now what I've seen the last couple of preseason games is that if Kemba Walker doesn't have it, you can rely on Derrick Rose.
Exactly.
Bump up the point guard rotation. But in the ideal situation, you want to have Kemba there healthy, and then Rose come off the bench because he's part of that bench mob with the Knicks bench mob, really just bludgeon teams left and right last year. So I see that happening. Derrick Rose, he's looking like his old, not like his old Chicago days, but look like what he did last year with the Knicks. And I just see the balance with him coming into that lineup with that second unit and providing that much needed spark, and just making sure that making sure that the second unit is in lockstep, because what I've seen during the preseason is that the bench is way more ahead of the starters because they got to get gelled and they got to get gelled with the new players on the roster. So I just think that Derrick Rose is going to have another big season. His production wise is going to go up, and he's going to get trusted even more under Tibbs. And I just think that that's the reason why I got the Knicks finishing at 4th, is because of that bench is going to be the real key to see where they finish in the standings.
Nice, I like that. So for most improved, for me, I'm going to go with Jordan Poole for the Warriors. Same. I just think Jordan Poole's going to have a really, really good year.
So here's what I was going to say. My bad to cut you off, but I was also going to have him as a 6th man, but I know like as the beginning of the season, he's going to be playing majority. He's going to be starting, until Clay comes back. But pretty much, Ernest, you could take it from here. Like my reason of why he's going to be most improved is what we witnessed, when they played us those past couple of games in the preseason, just seeing his growth overall.
Yeah, I just think Jordan Poole, he's going to take a really, really big step this year. He has the opportunity right now with Clay being out to really see, to see what really he can do. I just think right now Jordan Poole is my most improved player.
Yeah, you can lock me in for that too.
For my most improved player, I'm going OG Anunoby out of the Raptors. It was between him and Jordan Poole. I just think that OG Anunoby, he's how can I say this? With Jordan Poole, it's like you're gonna get a unanimous vote because with the system he's in. With the Raptors, with OG, I think he's gonna get much more of a bigger option to showcase what he has. And I think he started seeing that a little bit last year. And I think this year he's going to grow from that. And then I think he's gonna get more opportunities because I don't think there's no one in front of him in that rotation for the Raptors. So I think that
plus Pascal is hurt right now.
And the fact Pascal's hurt, so he's gonna have a much more bigger role to fulfill until Pascal gets back.
I say this though, I think OG may get traded though. Depending on what happens with Ben Simmons, I think he'll wind up in Philly. But we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see.
So,
but yeah, that concludes episode 5. Guys, of our our playoff early seeding prediction, and player prediction awards and WNBA reaction. Again, we appreciate all of you tuning in, sending us feedback, shouting us out. We love the love that we're getting. And
appreciate
stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned because we're definitely going to have some fans on the show for sure. That's definitely coming up really soon. Look forward to that. All right.
So signing out. I'm EricL. Catch me on Twitter, EricL Beats, Instagram, EricL Beats, Facebook, EricL. So if you want to get in contact with me, you can hit me up on there.
Yes, sir.
And plus, I'll be at the home opener for the Knicks Celtics game tomorrow. So I'll provide some clips from MSG, the atmosphere of the game. I'll probably give you like a little analysis of what during halftime and the end of the game. So stay tuned for that. And I'll be going to a couple of Knicks games this season. So you'll be getting a couple of analysis from me from.
He'll be at more Knicks games than Spike Lee.
Hey, it is what it is. So it is. But the thing is that the Knicks fan base is highly anticipated of this team. And after going to the last preseason game, when it's like it felt like a playoff crowd for a preseason game, it's like, okay, we're ready to go.
Oh yeah, when Julius Randle hit the game-winning 3,
it felt like a playoff game in the arena.
There's definitely high expectations for that team.
Yeah. For sure. It's excited to see what's going to happen at the Garden. Being from New York and kind of seeing that atmosphere, it's good. It's good to have the Knicks and the Nets to be good. Like it's good to have New York basketball all around to be good. You can't say the same thing about the football team, but the basketball team is going to be phenomenal and going to be really good atmosphere. And I can't wait to look forward to seeing that. Ernest, myself, you'll catch me on a few Laker games this year. I'll be out in Los Angeles a lot, so stay tuned for that. You can follow me on Twitter, Ernest Booker 88. Follow me on Instagram, Live Earnestly on Instagram. I'm not really on Facebook like that, but it is what it is. And man, stay tuned. We got a lot of content coming up, a lot of good things happening.
All right, and this is Armastradamus signing out. I'm gonna definitely try to make some games this year as well too. I know the Lake Show come to the Garden in November, like that Thanksgiving week. So I'm gonna definitely try to 23rd. So I'm gonna definitely try to.
They play the Nets. They play the Nets in December.
Yeah, in Christmas. Yeah,
January.
Yeah, at Barclays. So definitely gonna. I got those 2 games marked on my calendar, and definitely gonna try to. Catch a game out there in LA next year. I haven't decided when, but definitely gonna get a look at the Lake Show this year. But yeah, this is Armastradamus signing out. You can find me on _Armastradamus on Instagram. You can find me at Armastradamus on Twitter. And just hit me up if you want to talk about sports. Like, we could do it, you know. But just don't come with no craziness, man. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know. Yeah.
All right, we'll sign off. Catch you next week.
All right.
Peace.
Lakers in. Boom.